Welcome back, Dynasty DNA Strand Crew. This is the IDP Boneyard. This week we're going to be talking about the NFC South IDP assets. You got me, Logan, at Logan123003 on X, and you got Big Culture Bob here this time. You can follow him on X at, what is it? Bobo409? I don't remember. Listen, this is usually TJ's job. This is TJ.
Yeah, this was TJ.
I'm trying my best, TJ. Don't shoot
At
me.
Biggie Fat Bob.
At Biggie Fat Bob on X.
No numbers.
That's his. Well, it used to be what? Biggie Fat 0409?
No, I think it's always been Biggie Fat. Because I've been trying to get a second account and I haven't been able to get it.
Well, you can follow him on X at Biggie Fat Bob. We also have a TikTok. It's the little QR code up in the top left-hand corner of your screen. We also have an Instagram, which is at Dynasty DNA Football Network. Along with, you can follow us on X at Dynasty DNA.
Well, if you don't remember, Logan had the move or whatever last week, so that's why he wasn't there, and his lighting is crap. So he's already ordered a light as we were sitting here preparing for the show.
Yep.
Do you want to go?
I'm in my closet.
Do you want to go in alphabetical order? Do you want to go in how we think they'll finish, or do you want to go how they? I mean, I guess it don't matter.
We'll do what we did. We'll do last, how they placed last year, last to first.
Okay, then that would be the Saints, right?
I believe so. Because it was what? Saints? Because Carolina won the division last year.
Yeah, with the monstrous sub 500 record.
As always, that's just the NFC South for you.
Yeah.
Let me pull up Sleeper. Let me get to the Dynasty DNA IDP League of Record, team, players, leaders. I shouldn't do it this way. I'll just do it this. I'm gonna just pull up Shuck's
We're mainly
profile.
talking about IDP assets.
Yeah.
And I also thought that it would be kind of incredulous for us to even talk about a cornerback unless they play nickel. I didn't think there's any reason to really talk about defensive tackles at all. They just don't score enough in your IDP formats outside of a very small few, newly re-signed Jeffrey Simmons. Just think of that guy. Like, that's the type that maybe you could consider starting, but it's pretty. And I mean, again, the league record is 10 teams. We start 4 linebackers, 4
3 line
defensive backs, and 3 linemen
with an IDP flex.
And 1 flex. Yeah. So I think it would be silly for us to, if we're not starting them in that deep of a league, then I wouldn't think that most people are going to start them. Teixeira, I think he could pop in, but he made it out like he was going to be late at work and he had some family stuff to do, which is perfectly fine. I understand. Top 2 players on the defensive line from the Saints. Ironically, it looks like they play more of a 3-4, so their edge players / what they would call probably defensive linemen are probably more stand-up guys than what we would consider. But I'd have to go with Granderson and Chase Young. Any disagreement there?
No, they did Jordan actually officially retire? Is this just slowed up?
Cameron Jordan? No, I think he re-signed like a 1 year.
I was going to say they still have Cam Jordan, which anyone who knows Cam Jordan knows he's a bona fide stud on the D line.
But yeah, it's just a matter of how much he's going to play because this is I mean, he was drafted in 2011.
Yeah.
That's a
He's
long
gonna be
NFL
like
career.
37 before the season starts.
Yeah. So he'll be a situational pass
Yeah.
rusher. It's not anybody I want to be. I mean, I don't know.
If you're gonna
I'm not a huge Chase Young fan, but I could see playing Chase Young over Cameron Jordan.
obviously, I can't even be upset with that. I mean, their linebacker or not linebackers, their safeties aren't bad, and Julian Blackman and Justin Reed. Justin Reed's a little bit up there, and he's not top of the line, but he can make plays and do something.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're skipping around awful quick. You jumped already to the defensive
Sorry,
backs, and that's
that caught my
fine.
eye.
Yeah, I do like Justin Reed honestly as a player and playing strong safety predominantly. And Jonas Sanker, the nickelback, was kind of a revelation for them last year. Julian Blackman playing free safeties kind of wonky, and Logan just blacked out on me. So hopefully he pops right back in.
Here we go. I'm back. That was
Yeah. So I made comments about it. Um, Janky apartment internet. Um, so yeah, I just think that this is. I hope that this isn't too quick of a show because we might be going through it a lot faster than what I think. But legitimately, um, he is a Jonas Sanker or whatever played pretty well last year in the nickelback role, and I was kind of look here and see
did
uh,
you
if
did
I
you bring
can
up linebackers?
go ahead. No, not yet.
Okay. I'll kind of dip into linebackers while he's trying to get this info for you guys. Um, their linebackers aren't bad. Caden Ellis, you got him on the left. Granderson's going to be more of a hands down. Stinky Pete Warner. And then obviously Chase Young, who's going to be more stand down. Pete seems to be like he's not a big guy, big blow up guy, but he's one of those guys who's semi consistent through the year if he stays healthy. I will get back up here to Caden Ellis. He came over. Yeah, he came over from Atlanta, sitting at 30.9. He's solid, but we'll see if he gets more production from the Saints than he did in Atlanta.
So Caden Ellis came from the Saints before he was at Atlanta. So this guy's been on the only these two teams or whatever. And Caden Ellis, in my opinion, is always like a linebacker cheat code because he outperforms wherever he's getting drafted, and it's basically because of the age. Um, in all honesty, I'm not a big Stinky Pete fan. I would rather roll the dice on Stutzman, Danny Stutzman, but not every team is going to have an illustrious assortment of IDP assets. Yeah. Sanker ended up being the 63rd defensive back last year. Now, that seems like a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a wasted player because, like, even in our deep leagues, you're really only starting 40. But being that he was a draft pick last year, I'm sorry, he was just a rookie last year or whatever. Being, he showed a little something, right? So I'm not opposed to the idea. I have no Justin Reed or whatever. I think was often injured last year, so to wherever he's gonna, I didn't see him. I don't think before I even saw um, Sanker. So my guess is, oh, here we go. I found him. He is 88. So this is just last year's statistics. And then we're just to kind of get back to the linebackers or whatever. Caden Ellis was the 23rd ranked linebacker last year. So if he performs like that in your IDP linebacker 3 spot or even 4 spot, like I said, he's just a cheat code that I've kind of always had my eyes on and stuff like that. So, and sleepers ranking there is a little wonky because like the number one linebacker is Brian Burns, who's DLLB. So I'm sure that there's Will Anderson's number 7. So obviously Ellis is going to jump a little bit up that
Yeah.
board, just due to that effect. So again, the and I Tashara and I talked about it. I think that two players from every position is kind of a good idea. I don't know if there's any like standout rookies that I'd be interested in. Sonny Styles' brother, Lorenzo Styles, was drafted, but he's going to be more of a free agent. So unless he's like an incredibly ball hawking dude, or the scheme changes where he plays closer to the line, I'm not super interested until after this year. Like I said, last year's rookie, Danny Stutzman's probably a guy I would target. Is there anybody that you look at on this team and you're like, oh, that could be an asset?
On the Saints still,
Yeah.
Brian Breesy might not be bad. He's still 24, going on 25, still young, still got time to develop, and he's not been a bad pass rusher so far in his career. Obviously not top of the line, but still solid.
Yeah, it's that stank 3-4 system, but yeah, I get what you're saying. So the next team would be Atlanta,
I
right?
believe so.
Yeah, it's got to be Atlanta or Tampa Bay because we know Carolina won the division. Okay,
Do you want to kick her off?
so this is another team that plays a 3-4. So your edge rushers tend to be outside linebackers, and I really like Jalen Walker. And if James Pierce could just get his life together, double-digit sacks or whatever last year, the talent's obviously there.
I mean, worst comes to worst, right? They can move Harold Perkins into that spot because I know he played a lot of down linemen in college at LSU. Or they also brought in Samson Ebukam, who I know can play it. He played really well in Indy. Obviously not good enough to stay there, but good enough to keep moving in the league and staying in the league. Their linemen are solid. Do they still have? Oh, they don't. It's been so long since I've looked at this team. I picture Falcons, and for some reason I was thinking Calais Campbell, but then I remembered he's on the Cardinals. Last I remember.
I don't think he's in. I'd have to look that up, but I mean, I thought he was in Baltimore last year.
He may be. They love their old guys in Baltimore.
Defensive tackles, that guy has moved around a little bit more than what you'd expect. I think.
He's been in the league for like what, 16 years or something.
700.
A while.
I don't know. It's been a long.
I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right to I think the brightest spot on this defense. That's not the defensive line. Jesse Bates always has been a guy who is solid to take up if you can get him. 29.3 in age. I love him because I'm a homer, but he played for my Bengals, so that's part of it.
Bates was 31 overall last year, and I'm not saying that it's not entirely possible for him to come back up, but
for us, whenever we start 4,
yeah. And then
I mean, every IDP I think should have a deep IDP pool for starters. So I mean, he's a solid, I'd say, 2 to 3. With the upside.
Yeah, I mean it's his age, I think, and I mean it's not that big of a deal. It's a matter of whether or not he's if he's under contract or whatever.
Yeah,
for how much longer and things like that. Of course, I don't have over the cap or anything up. I just have our lads open. Billy Bowman was a rookie last year, and it seemed to me like he did okay, but I just don't know how defined that role is. I like the idea of Christian Harris moving to this team to play linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
He was just often injured in Houston, so I think that there's going to be a pretty decent little place for him because I mean, like Troy Anderson can't stay healthy. Divine Diablo was kind of again a revelation for this team last year, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know how dependable he is because he seems to get dinged up a little bit too. This is just a team that I think is going to score some IDP points because I think they're going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah.
I don't trust the offense to keep the defense off the field.
And I mean,
And I don't trust the defense very well to keep, to have 3 and outs.
I like Harold Perkins. I liked him at LSU coming out. I was really hoping he'd come out last year when his stock was still high, but he had an injury, stayed in college for another year, tried to do some more. He will be a solid piece if he gets some field. I'll say that.
Yeah, I know that the Kendall Daniels got a lot of hype too, or whatever, in this draft, and he was drafted two rounds before Perkins. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. This team will have brothers playing cornerback probably eventually this year.
Yeah,
which is kind of wild, but
it's better than the NBA where you got a father and son playing.
So stupid.
Yeah. Up next would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If I can find it.
We're only 16 minutes.
I know this is going to be short. It's hard to do it because we're only talking about half the ball, and also TJ doesn't run this.
Well, not to mention the fact that Teixeira would probably have some kind of questions or insight, and in all honesty, I'm not. I mean, through the first 2 teams or whatever, there's not a lot to be super excited about.
This is a very bad division. There's not much here. Like, Tampa Bay's got some of the best defenders in this division, and Carolina just finds a way to squeak out wins.
Well, and I think that the strength of this division, I don't know if I'd say the strength of this division, but a lot of them, they're all playing a 3-4.
Yeah.
Which means that your outside edge rushers are very much dice rolls.
Yeah.
You would love for them to be successful, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
And then, this team that we're getting ready to talk about, they're probably their best position is the secondary or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that there's some refinement to this podcast that can happen. And I don't know if it's the breakdown per se, but
yeah,
it is what it is. And it's like, I'm sure we could come up with
it's a lot easier to talk about it when you have more options, more people to talk to.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. You want to jump into these Bucks?
So, yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for Kalijah Kancey and Vita Vea, but they don't really do a whole lot production-wise. I think Kancey, if he was a true outside end, it would be exciting, but he's just a 3-4 end, which, again, puts us in a spot where we're not super interested. So that's their front, and again,
they bring in little arms.
The linebacker.
They bring in little arm Bane.
Yeah, and again, I might end up buying more Bane than what I would have thought because just the angry factor. He just looked super pissed at the draft that he went that far.
They got Bane and Yaya Diaby.
Yeah, which like this seems like a team that's got a lot of pieces that are out of place. I mean, I think that they should probably be a 4-3, but I mean, Vita Vea and Kancey and then Ashawn Robinson, like I think that they could have put Bane on the outside or whatever, or Yaya on the outside, and then had Bane be a
someone at stand up.
Sam linebacker or something. Yeah.
And then rounding into the linebackers, we got Alex Anzalone, Josiah Trotter, and then Yasir Holmes. Yeah.
Where are you seeing Yasir Holmes?
I'm on Sleeper.
I don't know if the dude's even there anymore. Savasier Dennis or whatever was kind of a letdown. It'll be interesting to see if he slows the track of Trotter down, which I don't know if he will. Christian Roseboom or whatever played pretty decently, but that didn't keep him from bringing Anzalone in and then drafting a guy. So I mean, I think Trotter's probably the piece to go after, but if you need points, Anzalone's probably nearly free or whatever on your waiver wires. The best group here, in my opinion, is Tyke Smith, Antonio Winfield Jr., and Jacob Parrish. At strong safety, free safety, nickelback perspective, respectively. Yeah, respectively.
Tyke Smith.
Antonio Winfield just got to stay healthy. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Tyke Smith just knows a way to score. Like, he's always, I feel like every single play last year, he was some way involved if he was on the field. He's got a motor that's undeniable. And then just, it helps a lot whenever you have some of those other guys to help out too.
Sure. I think Junior there is a certifiable, stud. But I think that he's also a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a field general where he's pointing out, places to go. And
I mean, with his age, like, he's not old. Let's not say that, but he's got some wisdom and experience on an NFL field. Man's got a championship ring, so he kind of knows what he needs to do.
Well, I mean, this is year 6 or whatever. So, was he there when they won the Super Bowl?
He was I think a rookie.
I don't remember when they won the Super Bowl. If that tells you.
2020.
It'd have to be 2020 if he was there. Yeah, this is definitely a more IDP asset position over the other two teams. I'm not afraid to have, even though Winfield Jr. is a free safety, I'm not afraid to have him as like my 3 or 4. Tyke Smith obviously can be your 1 or 2 as long as he maintains the job. I heard speculation that his PFF grades had dropped and things like that, and maybe it was, maybe there was slip, but and then they drafted Keontae Scott, which had me freaking out a little bit. I ain't gonna lie about it. So we'll see what happens as the year goes along. But I also have heard that Tyke Smith is an easy, top 10 IDP asset at defensive back. So
real quick, I will jump in on Winfield again. I did look. He was part of the 2020 Super Bowl team, which I knew he was part of the 20 team. I couldn't remember if it was actually the Super Bowl winning team. But Andy was a big contributor. Didn't drop below 60% on snaps other than one game he missed against Green Bay. And that was probably their worst outing on defense. 31-26 compared to 31-23, 30-20, and 31-9 when they won the bowl at 31-9.
The Super Bowl where Patrick Mahomes had to run for his life.
Build up those O-lines.
Never underestimate a good defensive pass rush. So, but I know something we really didn't talk about. Do we believe that those? So let's just the 3 that we've talked about are which team do you feel? Well, let's. I tell you what. Let's just do questions at the end.
Okay.
So, Another 3-4 defense. Woo! I just really don't like 3-4 defenses. As far as I never did it when I was playing Madden back in the day, and I don't really care for it now.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So this will be confusing if you had plus defensive tackle scoring because Derek Brown and Bobby Brown are on this defensive front. But
That's
you go to
almost
the
as
out.
crazy as Trevor and Travis.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about that. That's so aggravating. Um, outside linebackers, they bring in Jalen Phillips on a huge deal, and then they had drafted Nick Scorton in 2025. Uh, I really do like Scorton, and Jalen Phillips has been a guy that I've liked when healthy. The problem is the poor guy cannot stay very healthy. So we'll see how that works out. And I feel like I thought they had somebody other than Trevin Wallace as one of their second linebackers, but maybe I just was crazy or whatever. But then they have Devin Lloyd that they brought over to pay him quite a bit of
Yeah.
money to be the a middle linebacker for this team. I'm really high on Devin Lloyd in this spot. I hope that he progresses a little bit. But as far as the linebacker edge group goes, I'm pretty impressed with what they've put together. Uh, is there anybody that you're higher on? Do you prefer Scorton or Phillips?
I like Scorton just more. He's a solid piece. Like Phillips is good and solid, but I'll take the little bit of the youth on the Scorton side than I would on the Phillips. And I don't think Scorton has the injury history that Phillips has either.
Not many people have the
Well,
injury history that
yeah,
Jalen Phillips has. I mean, he medically retired in college.
yeah,
If you didn't
I
know that,
remember that. I
yeah, he was at UCLA or whatever, and medically retired because of a concussion, I
yeah.
think, or a neck injury or whatever. And then he got healthy, and I forget where he graduated
Yeah,
from.
I kind of with this team the same way I'm with the Bucks, where I think their best pieces are kind of in the defensive backs.
Yeah, I mean,
Which I
go
was gonna
ahead.
say Trevor or Trayvon Moring is a solid safety, and I will shout that.
Hmm.
And then they brought in Isaiah Simmons, so I mean he's not gonna play a whole lot, but he's still there.
Yeah.
Nick Scott, I think needs to be out of the NFL because he's just getting to a point where he's not there. But they have a solid number two behind him in Lathan Ransom, who, whenever he was on the field last year, played amazing and should be getting ready to be the starter. Would be year two for him. And then you can't talk about the Carolina Panthers defense without talking about J.C. Horn. I feel like he might not be a nickel back, but he's easily their corner one.
Well, but that leads to no
Yeah,
points. You know what I mean? Like you're not getting many put. So that's why I generally just avoid Chow Smith Wade or whatever plays nickel for him. Uh, look out for Zake Wheatley. He's a Penn State product, which means he's probably incredibly freaking athletic. So he could be Moreg's replacement in a couple of years. I don't know. I mean, defensive backs are tend to what's the word I'm looking for? Like cycle in and out pretty
yeah,
quick and often, unless you're just like Studley. You know what I mean? Like some of the guys that like Buda Baker or whatever that stuck around for a really long time, Jesse Bates that we talked about just not too long ago, so on and so forth. So the questions I want to have here is, um, let's start with the easy question. Which team do you think has the high? You left my screen and I'm talking to you. This is live. You gotta love it. So I was going to ask. I don't know if he had to pee or if he had to go get a drink. Um, I wonder what team is going to have the most fantasy production because of how quality their offense is, if that makes sense. Like, what team's offense keeps the defense on the field longer? Damn, I'm trying to think. That doesn't seem worded well, but you get I think my point is valid. And then I think I want to just make a little 2-2-2 like lineup from this division and see what we come up with. I can't believe he just bolted. Kids these days. I think that the Carolina offense is probably, I don't know if I trust them more. Man, New Orleans offense is going to be better. Bringing in David Edwards to play guard is going to help that team out a lot. You totally ghosted me. Here I am. I'm prepping you a question and you bolted.
You can look at your phone here in a second. But go ahead.
So what I was going to say is which team's going to be which team's defense is going to be on the field longer? The most.
Atlanta. I will take that and run. I think Atlanta, with not knowing who their quarterback's going to be in either Tua or Penix, is going to be the team with them on the field the longest. I don't know what you think.
You think Atlanta allows the defense to be on the field longer? Yes. Because they'll be the worst offense. Yeah. I probably agree with that, which really slows down your pass rush, right? So at that point, investing in Jalen Walker and James Pierce is kind of crazy. Yeah. So which team will you be most interested in investing in assets from?
The same team we just talked about.
Atlanta.
Well, they're going to have the most time on the field. Time on field means points. I'm not going to say they're my top team. I'd rather buy pieces out of Carolina and
well, that was the question.
Well, I'd rather buy pieces out of Carolina and Tampa Bay then. But I'm thinking of like a pure scoring. You're going to want to go Atlanta. Right, if you're contending, you want Atlanta defense. If you want, I mean, you can get a couple pieces here and there from both those teams if you're contending in Carolina and Tampa. But I think they'll have the best youth and longevity factors on Carolina and Tampa Bay.
Who's the best pass rusher in this division? And I feel like I'm going to be the one asking all the questions.
Jalen Walker, I think, is probably the top.
Jalen Walker.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the top piece for pass rush.
I think as far as actual ability, Pierce might actually be better than Walker.
but I'm worried about pieces.
Stay on the field.
Yeah, Pierce is off the field issues.
Okay.
I was going to say, who do you think will be the best defensive back in this division?
I'm going to stick with Smith until proven wrong. Yeah. But that was going to be my question to myself, in all honesty, would have been, I think I would take Smith as the number one defensive back. I really do like Winfield Jr., and I do like Moreg, but man, Tyke Smith is just, and I know you're a big Bates guy, but Tyke Smith, this is my favorite.
I feel like the defensive back rankings for these teams is like Smith, Winfield, Bates.
Probably Smith, Bates, Winfield, and then probably Moreg somewhere in that mix too.
But I think, well, at least those top four, Smith easily being one, and then 2, 3, 4 it's like 2A, 2B, 2C.
Yeah, I think the Saints defensive backs get the slide here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They
You know
just
what I
they
mean?
don't really have a
There's not one.
yeah, they don't have like a top one. They're just kind of both there.
Yeah, Reed's probably all right, but I think I'd almost be more interested in Sanker. Um, well, gentlemen and ladies, I think we will cut this a little bit short. Hopefully, next week to share is with us, and it'll be a little bit longer. Maybe we get some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Um, but I know that Logan's got a situation brewing, and we we're just at the crunch time here. And again, if we're only talking about two assets from every position on every team, it's going to go pretty quick.
Yeah, I
If
think next week I'll try and get some more talking points set out and stuff like that so we can kind of move a little bit better and longer.
Yeah, I mean, we really haven't done a division breakdown or whatever as far as this team go or IDP goes. And in all honesty, like we've talked about this ad nauseum. Like I don't care about the only thing that the cornerbacks in this division really do is funnel more tackle opportunities to the safeties. You know, J.C. Horn in particular. I'm trying to think of. I don't know that there's any other like shut down corner in this division that I'm like, ooh, be afraid of that guy. J.C. Horn is clearly the guy.
I mean, the only one I could think of was Tyke Smith because he played like that three-way safety. He was a roaming safety, he was a roaming nickel, and then sometimes they had him out at corner. So he kind of played like a three-headed monster.
Yeah, which the positionless football is getting to be the popular thing. And I mean, if you're missing that, then you either are not paying attention or all you do is look at the numbers because they really do want everyone to be kind of able to be everywhere. There's a lot of players that are getting drafted that you're like, well, I mean, let's just take Jamian Sherwood, for instance, a safety converted to a linebacker. That's a small linebacker, but he does a lot because he's fast and he's big enough to still hit the quarterback.
The only real restrictions they give out anymore is based on size. Like if you can run, he was probably a taller safety, but he wasn't, he's still short for a linebacker. But
right. Yeah, and I mean it's again, we're refining our process. I don't know this, but we'll keep doing this. I think the top two assets off of every position for every team. I mean, we could probably have done two divisions, but 35 to 45 minutes is probably not a bad episode. And again, if Teixeira was here, I think we'd have had more commentary.
Yeah. I think next week we'll ride into the AFC North, kind of mix it up a little bit, go there. Because I feel like that might be a longer episode, not only because I can shoot every single thing in that division, but also I feel like there's more that's happened,
Well, my only thing is, and I mean, I'm not opposed.
Oh, are we keeping it between the both shows?
No. I'm not worried about that at all. But I just figure we do South.
Okay, then we'll go AFC South.
West. Yeah,
puts us in.
But at least we're NFC, AFC.
Yeah, that puts us with the Texans next week. So that's still a decent offense or decent defense to talk about. So it'll be a lot better than.
Yeah, we can waste our breath on Travis Hunter.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot better than this division.
Yeah, there's some more IDP assets on that team. There might be more IDP assets on that team than there was in this whole division.
Yeah. All righty. We'll see you guys in the next one.